your awe needs to be inspired, this is the place to come.
It is, for sure.
You can get your awe inspired every turn here.
Hi, we're Owen, Lynn, and Maggie of Van Trekking Lifestyle. This week we began by leaving the Rio Grande Village Campground in the Big Bend National Park and driving within the park 30 miles further west to the Chisos Basin Campground, one of our favorites. This campground is located at the base of the Chisos Mountains, and that mountain range, it resides completely and entirely inside of this huge national park. We found our campsite and pretty quickly decided there was no reason to just stick around the campground. There was too much to see.
Well, it's pretty cold here. It's 38 degrees, wind is blowing, so the wind chill factor is in the 20s. There are lots of things to see that we can see from the van, so I think instead of setting up camp now that we know we're here, let's just head out and go explore and see what's here. Maybe go to the lodge, go maybe on the dirt road ride today. And
sounds good.
All right, exploring we go. We decided on Grapevine Hills Road, which should take us on a little short hike to a place called Balanced Rock. We're not sure about this, but we'll see how the road is and how far we think we can comfortably make it and go from there. I'm going to put it in four-wheel drive just to make sure I've got it. And just like that, we're in four-wheel drive and we're off. I'm not going to air down though. It's a little washboardy. It's a lot washboardy. So the last few, I guess maybe half mile of this 6 mile road has gotten to be a little more fun or worrisome for Lynn, but I don't think these kind of things worry you that much now, do they, sweetie?
This doesn't,
Yeah, this is...
But Owen's having a really good time.
This is it. I mean, we've been on roads kind of like this with our Rebel, and it's why we got the Rebel, but we've never been on roads like this with these kind of views while we're on the roads. That's just, it's just phenomenal. I feel guilty being so happy. This is awesome. Yeah, we haven't been on a dirt road till Lynn says, "Oh Nelly, whoa Nelly." A little bit of clearance there. Those Subarus that were ahead of us, they were blowing by us, but when they got to this bigger stuff, they decided to turn around. You okay over there? walk up this little trail.
All right, you gonna use the bathroom first?
I think it would be a good idea.
So we're going on the Balance Rock Trail, and it's about a mile out there and back.
This is your reward for letting me bounce off of rocks coming up here, isn't it?
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go. So come what may. Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye. Let's have a toast for those lost old lives. My crooked little heart that seems so rebellious is falling apart right now. I'm bleeding, an easy kid, gonna leave it all behind. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, got lost along the way, fell between the fold, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may.
Leaving many things undone here, it was time to head 40 miles south of Chiso's Basin to the park's most remote campground, Cottonwood.
I was trying to stick the little camera on the outside of the van so it doesn't get so much glare to get a better view of this scenic drive. Here he goes. Gotta be graceful.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within. This heavy load got under your skin. All in, you got the white knuckles holding on it tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside. Heading for a collision and then now to really live, you gotta die.
If you want to run a generator and you want to make a lot of noise, and you're going to quickly learn that the Cottonwood Campground is not the place for you. But if you love the nature and the wildlife that's drawn to the water that's sucked from the Rio Grande, then you're going to love it here just like we did.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors.
This owl must have thought that Maggie resembled a rabbit, because for a fleeting moment, we thought it was coming after her. I'm sure he doesn't see Maggie. Get back at Maggie.
Moments pass, make this one count. Untie. You're so good at dragging yourself down. Why? Well, there ain't much time left to figure things out. Deep underneath all the laser, your doubts. There's a heart gone out of rhythm in despair. Held underwater, fine for air. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive.
We figured out that our attitude about being here in this national park is what's made it so good for us. We've stayed here long enough to fall in love with it, haven't we?
Which has been really good.
Try not to backtrack too much and just enjoy the simple things. Like right now, we're sitting out here just over in that cottonwood tree over there, which by the way is just absolutely beautiful anyway. There's the owl we saw last night. And he's just up here just looking for something to eat and hanging out. I think we've decided we're going to get our bikes down and we're going to ride up to the visitor center and take a road there that goes out close to the Rio Grande and see if it's too rough for us to ride on. But
we haven't ridden our bikes yet, so we thought that would be a good thing to do.
When you have just one day left, it's hard not to just get up and go. Well, apparently it's not too hard.
Got the white knuckles holding on it tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside. Heading for collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die.
This afternoon, we're going to take the River Road West on our e-bikes.
What way?
Might be a change of plans on the e-bike ride.
Definitely a change of plans. We may try to make an emergency fix here, but Lynn's cable to her throttle is broken off. On mine, it connects down here. There's a piece that goes into here and it goes to the throttle. And hers is broken right there. I don't know how that could have happened.
And it's broken off at the top too, so
I'm going to take it apart and see if I can figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wrote it. The power assist does work whenever you're using the pedals, but you don't have a throttle. So she's just going to have to be careful about that as she's going. So I think I should ride that one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
No, I'll ride it. I mean, I can try. If it doesn't work,
okay. We'll see how far we get, and we'll likely just turn around. But at least that'll work until we can get another part. Good thing is we're on the West Coast, so maybe we can find a RAD dealer around here that will have the part that we need. Line over the cattle guard. Wait a minute, think about me having to walk on the cattle guard too. Whew. No wonder cattle don't come through there. Try number 3. I forgot my helmet, I forgot the big camera, and I had to go back. Bouncing on the road is rough on these bikes for sure. So I'm gonna go through the gate this time.
Leaving all my worries, I prepare for something new. Whatever it was that held me back, I'm sure it wasn't true. Holding on too long, and unresolved questions hold you down. What could have been a friendly smile has turned into a frown. I'm moving on and on. On and on. I'm moving on and on. On and on. I'm driving in my car, the road is long and full of dust. The landscape changes around me, on and on, I feel immersed. Whatever happened to me happened for my highest good. I read that in so many books, now it's almost understood. I'm moving on and on, on and on. I'm moving on and on.
Ready?
On and on. See
Oh, baby.
around the beach house that I rented for a while. You can try to find my number or my FBI file. Sweet is my location, sweet as well my destination. If you're looking to begin, then look no further than within.
Hey, baby, we hear you. We hear you. Give me a second. Let the prisoner out. Hey, hey. Hey. Was it like 175 degrees in there in the air conditioning? It wasn't. It was. It was okay, wasn't it? Look, touch the thing and tell me what the temperature is. Just touch the heater.
80.
80? You don't want it that hot, do you? What did you think of that?
Hard.
I told you I should have used the one without the throttle.
I didn't realize how much I use that throttle.
I know, we use it all the time. And
But I did put it in assist 2, which I usually just use assist 1, and that did help a lot. And yeah, and then I pushed it off just to sometimes if I was on a hill to get it started.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as bad, but the little trail was pretty. Excuse me, the little trail was pretty rough.
It was.
Yeah.
A lot of little spiky thorns and everything on the ground and in the trees. And
I should have, you know, because they're in the trees, I should have wore long pants, and then you're trying to miss them on the road because you don't want them to stick in your tires. So, and it was just the soft sand and stuff.
And usually in the sand, we would give it throttle and put both feet down to kind of scrape the ground, and you can keep from getting stuck and you can get through it and usually not fall. But I could see how having to pedal through that with that heavy bike, that was hard on you, I know.
It was, and I'm not real good at, like, there was definitely a rut that you're riding in. I'm not good at staying in the rut with that big bike either. I need some wide. I need a wide open.
You need a road.
That's right.
But we made it back here. Maggie's happy and we're relaxing. And
Maggie, you got a nice cool spot. My daddy's working on the bike. You hoping you don't get it fixed, so we won't leave you again. Look at that!
Well, not yet.
I know, but hey.
I still got a lot of taping to do to make sure this doesn't come loose. I had to take some wires out of a micro USB cable and strip them down. I don't have any soldering iron or anything like that to do this with, so I'm having to just tape everything and hope it holds.
Mom, call me impressed.
I'm impressed. Not yet, honey.
That's pretty cool.
On and on, I'm moving on and on, on and on, I'm moving on and on, I'm moving on, I'm moving on.
Hey.
Hey.
Chance meeting you here at Big Bend National Park. It's beautiful.
It is. It's awesome.
So before we call Big Bend National Park a wrap for this time for us, we thought we'd take 2 or 3 minutes and tell you the things that we wish we had known and a few of the things we've learned. So how many campgrounds?
There's 3 campgrounds, and they're kind of spread out throughout the park. The first one is
Rio Grande Village. It's the bigger of the campgrounds. It also has full hookup, but most of it is dispersed camping. There's Chiso Basin, and there's also Cottonwood, which was my favorite because of all the cottonwood trees.
Well, and it's a very, very quiet and a very desolate, very remote campground.
Right.
So,
No generators.
no generators. There are stores at the Rio Grande Village and at Panther Junction. And, you know, they're not going to be like a Walmart or even like an IGA grocery store, but
You can get gas, and you can get a few little, you know, small groceries, just kind of like a 7-Eleven.
And they weren't ridiculously priced either. We thought they would be gouging price, but they weren't.
When you first enter the park, they're going to give you a map and a pamphlet, and that pamphlet has great information. It actually gives you ideas of things to do in each location. So if you're at one campground, it'll give you all the main things around that campground. So,
And you don't really want to do one thing in one area and then come over here to the far west area, because you're looking at 40 miles to drive over here on a 15-mile-an-hour road. So, you know, seriously, you're looking at almost 2 hours to drive from the furthest point that way to the furthest over here. So the other thing it tells you in that pamphlet is if you have a day, I'd do this. If you have 3 days, I would do this. If you have 7, then you can do all of it. That's not true. This is one of the biggest parks we've ever been in, and I believe you could stay here for a month and not see all of it.
but the best thing about this state national park is it is a hiker's paradise.
It is.
There is just so many trails, and they're all just gorgeous.
They are.
But a few things you need to be prepared for if you are going to do a lot of hiking is you definitely need to wear a hat, because even it's early morning right now and it's hot.
And it's winter.
And
High today is supposed to be 88.
Well, you know, and we've had fluctuation in temperatures
Temperature,
too. So it's been really cold and it's been really hot, but that sun just beats down on you even if it's cold. Definitely bring sunscreen, and definitely bring hiking poles and good hiking shoes.
Because you're going to do some scrambling over mountains and rocks and everything else. But all that's worth it, isn't it? The hikes, every hike has a payoff. Every hike is just something you're going to look back. If you said, pick your best hike, guys, we couldn't do that. It just is not going to happen.
Another thing you need to know is your pets cannot go on any of the hiking trails. So that's been, you know, a sad thing for Maggie.
Yeah, it's probably not one of her favorite places we've gone, but national parks are like that. Some of them have bark rangers and let them go on certain trails, and some are none. This national park, it has one rule. Your pets can go where your vehicle can go, and that's it. So keep that in mind. One of the things you can do when you're at the Rio Grande area is you can go over into Mexico at the crossing, and that's really cool if you've never been to Mexico. It is a neat little town. We did that, as you saw in the video, and you know, you can do it for nothing. You can walk across the river. It's not very deep, and you can go over there and on your own go through town and come back and not spend a penny. But if you have your passport and it's current, it cannot be expired. So if it's current, you can go across.
And if you go across, just make sure you bring a lot of small bills if you want to buy anything or have lunch or whatever.
We rode the horses. Do you recommend that?
I mean, I probably could have walked faster than that poor old horse. And I felt sorry for the horse because he had to carry my big butt.
Okay. One of the things we didn't know when we got here, and I wish we had, is that there are off-road trails that you can take your vehicle on, and we knew about that. But there's dispersed camping in almost all of them, and recreation.gov controls, you know, reserving those sites. So even though, like, we may think we can crawl over here on this off-road and just find a place that nobody's on, that's kind of the etiquette. That doesn't work that way here. You need to go to recreation.gov and reserve one of those sites before you even come into the park, probably, because you probably are not going to have cell phone connectivity to do that. I wish we'd known that, because we could have spent 1 or 2 extra nights here doing dispersed camping inside of the national park. If you're like us, I wanted to go on the old Ore Road, and it's probably the most famous rugged road that's here, and it gets extremely challenging for off-roading, so you may want to think about that. But our friend Peter Holcomb put a video out saying you could go on the first 5 miles, and I wish we had tried that first 5 miles. But if you are going to go on that road, take a lot of water and be really, really careful. Make sure you've got some kind of satellite device, and just be aware that you're out in a remote area. And even while we were here,
there was a father and daughter who were lost on that trail, and they're still today looking for them. So just know that I want to go, but be smart about what you try to do. We've had a good time at this park, and if you're ever in this area, you need to come. You need to plan a trip here, though. It's not like you're going to roll by an interstate and see this sitting over here. It is hundreds of miles away from places that you're probably going to travel, but we'll be back, and we think you should come, and we're glad you watched this. If you've been here and you have suggestions for others, leave it in the comments. And for those of you that are part of the family, just know that we love you. We're glad you're with us as we travel. We'll see you down the road.
On and on, I'm moving on and on. On and on, I'm moving on and on. I'm moving on, I'm moving on.
You decide not to go in the middle?
What's that?
You decide not to go in the middle?
Yeah, that looked deeper.
It did look deeper.
The water is cold.
It is cold.
Deep, too.
What you doing up there?
Hiding from you.
Why?
How's it working out?
Not good with that red shirt on.
Oh, crap. So where'd I bring you for Valentine's Day?
The Grand Canyon. No, I was saying the Grand Canyon.
Were you with the right person? I'm not sure what's going on here. So where did I bring you for Valentine's Day?
St. Elena's.
Good grief.